The events begin in a fantasy world where humans live alongside werewolves and vampires. Fairies, elves, and all mythical creatures live together as friends in harmony. Any legendary being you can imagine resides with them, getting along amicably. All these creatures coexist harmoniously and collaborate without issues. The key is their friendship. We see a teenager from the vampire race, and his name is Vladdy, and he's going with his father, whose name is Berna, to the magical city, which is very famous. And that's because the city's mayor sent an invitation for the kids to join the Riv Raff Academy. And Riv Raff Academy, by the way, is the most famous academy for teaching magic in the world. Anyway, Vladdy and his father arrive at the bridge that will take them to the city, and there they meet the bridge guard. As soon as the bridge guard sees Vladdy, he's a bit shocked and looks at his picture and the documents he has. Vladdy's father's friend Suris is in those documents, and next to his picture there's a prophecy written. This foolish young man, the friend of everyone, will one day arrive at the city. When he does, 2 other fools like him will join him, becoming 3 superheroes together. They will protect the city from peril, and about the world and all that stuff. Abu al-Sahab, they're supposed to save the city from the devils and all that. So that's why Abu al-Sahab takes them straight into the city's chaos, without any hesitation. And Vlad and Abu are surprised and don't understand anything. Why is this man acting like this? He takes Vlad and his father into the city, where the decorations, people, and houses make them feel like they're in the 1960s. The speaker wishes they could have lived in that era. Anyway, the friend's father then sees a huge clock in the middle of the city, so he says a nickname to his son Vlad. A famous story about this clock states that when the bell rings at 12 o'clock, the world will end, for reasons unknown. When Vlad's friend's father speaks, the necklace Vlad wears, which belonged to his late mother Asani, starts glowing. Renelle exclaims, "That's a sign, Genie!" Vlad has worn the necklace since he grew up. Katskri. It means he remembers his mother. May God have mercy on her. And this necklace, by the way, has a magical red crystal inside it or something like that. Anyway, it's very precious to him. And as for the one named Berna, I'll tell you about him in a bit. He almost hits someone by mistake, but stops at the last second. But then an argument happens between Vlad's father and this person. A police officer arrives to resolve the situation, but just then, the necklace's crystal begins to glow. And suddenly, the helmet that the police officer is wearing turns into a very old helmet, and the man's bicycle also turns into an old bicycle. The officer gets furious at Vlad, suspecting him of using magic to cause mischief. He accuses Vlad of being a troublemaker before even joining the Magic Academy. Vlad's father gladly resolves the issue, takes his son, and trusts in God. Vlad and his friends arrive at their new residence, which is very old and unappealing. Vlad dislikes it immensely. He informs his father they'll reside in this junk house, but his father calmly assures him the place will be suitable and problem-free for them. Upon entering the house, Barnabo notices his son's anxiety and learns that he fears not being able to handle the situation. Vlad, my son, before you start at this new school, I want to share a few things to help you make friends and fit in. Look, you're definitely going to find a girl you'll like, and at first she might ignore you, but then she'll like you and you become cool at something. And for sure, you'll find a group of bullies who will pick on you, and that's totally normal. Every foreign school movie has to have a group of bullies. I got tired of their nonsense, but having friends is what matters. His dad comforted him later, just as I'm comforting you. He reassures him that he's special and will easily make friends. They support and encourage him as night falls. Barna continues tidying the apartment and clearing out their drinks. He finds an old photo of Vlad and talks to it, feeling sad. "You left us, Shalia," he says, wishing she was there to see her son. And he's counting the months. The school for teaching magic, and she's proud of him, and shows off in front of people. Anyway, later on, Barna and his friends put the photo in his son's case, and he goes down feeling very happy. But his happiness doesn't last because as soon as he comes down, he's surprised to find the municipal employee waiting for him. This employee, with his friends, gives Barna papers with all the taxes he has to pay and, all the dues for moving to the city and all that. It's a huge amount of money. The employee informs him that he has just 1 week to pay the entire amount to settle the matter. The important thing is, if Mama Abu al-Sahab doesn't pay that amount, they'll take his house and kick him out of the city completely. As a result, his son won't be able to continue at the Magic Academy. After the employee reveals shocking news to the man and departs, Mama Abu al-Sahab spends the entire night calculating, leaving him drained from the extended mathematical efforts. Where are we supposed to get all this money from that took years to save? Anyway, Abu al-Sahab tells his son not to worry about anything, to just focus on his studies, and he takes him to get ready for his first day of school. After that, Abu al-Sahab goes to drop his son off at school. He instructs him to contact the municipality regarding the damage. He promises to help the new kids, and says all parents should be there to support their children when their time comes. After that, Barnabno nervously walks into the school alone. As soon as he enters, what do you think he sees in front of him? What do you think the creativity of foreign writers would be? Of course, he'll find it right in front of him. A group of the bullying students, that's normal. As soon as you enter the school, you'll find the group of bullies standing to the side here. Anyway, they're standing together, and they're bullying a guy with a really creative name. Honestly, it's a very creative name. Anyway, after our friend saw the bullies, of course, he'll see something. He'll see the beautiful girl he's going to fall in love with, and then he'll get infatuated with her. Hey Minta, as I mentioned earlier when he was with his friends, a beautiful girl named Minta, a name from the world of fairies, entered the room. Being a fairy, she was naturally beautiful. With the help of his friends, a girl protects a boy from hypnotized people and returns something they stole from him. Upon seeing her, Vlad is instantly attracted to the girl. He manages to talk to her with his friend's assistance and introduces himself. And he comes with her to the school. He encounters the werewolves, who turn out to be his family. They sniff him in the hallway, and upon learning he's friends with their son again, want to ensure he poses no threat to him. They seem like stray dogs sniffing the kids. Then, they take their son to the welcoming party, while he waits outside for his dad, who goes to the municipality office to meet the mayor's assistant, and her name is Frau. The taxes he owes are a lot, and it's hard for him to pay the whole amount at once, so she tells him she can't do that, but they have to pay the taxes. As a favor, through his son's magic chain, Berna gets affected and asks for its name. He then tries to explain it to her. He means the chain holds great sentimental value for his son, not monetary worth, because it reminds him of his mother and he can't give it to anyone. Suddenly, Mayor Abu al-Sahabloui enters and welcomes Barna to the new city. He warns that if he wants to remain in the city with his son in school, he must give up the necklace. Failure to do so will result in their expulsion from the city. Louis offers to quickly buy the necklace from Abu al-Sahab, enabling him to pay taxes and have extra money. He requests the police to return the barley immediately. Look, Abu al-Sahab, take your time thinking about it and trust in God. By the way, I'm Abu al-Sahab. Step back. The city's solar eclipse party is underway. I bumped into you as you arrived, which would embarrass the sun. Also, Abu al-Sahab, Vlad is waiting outside and is very late for the party. A school janitor named Hannibal advises him to go to the party, where he's waiting for a girl. Hannibal surprises him by calling him by name, as if he knows him from Abu al-Sahab. And at that moment, Vlad gets to know Hannibal and follows his advice and goes into the party. But he goes in when it's already very late. All the students and even the principal keep staring at him like, why is he so late? Then Vlad goes and sits next to Wolf, who had already saved him a seat, so now they're basically friends or something. During the party, the principal calls out students' names, including Vlad, to come on stage. Vlad joins the other kids on stage, upset because everyone else has their family present, but he doesn't. He's the only sad and lonely one at the party until his dad arrives late, embarrassing him in front of everyone. Thanks, Dad. That's what happened at the party. After that, the school principal begins the spell for the new students, which reveals their powers and turns them into wizards. Wolf transforms into a werewolf like his father, growing a lot of hair. Meanwhile, Sahaba's wings start flapping vigorously, just like the other fairies. Sahaba's fangs begin to show and strengthen like other vampires, but Wolf, a werewolf, has an allergy to werewolf fur. Imagine being a werewolf who's allergic to fur. Which is really weird anyway. Saeed keeps preparing himself for Sufism, right? So, supposedly she's a fairy, like a real fairy, but she has a phobia of heights, which is really weird. And the other one, she's literally a dog with a fur allergy, and the fairy is afraid of heights. Oh my goodness, anyway, with the group, the girl who falls and hurts the back of her neck, or literally the back of Vlad's neck, gets injured. And as soon as Vlad sees blood, he throws up, even though they're supposed to be vampires. Oh my goodness. What should I do? I'm in this family with these three idiots. One is a werewolf, and his hair gives him allergies. The second is a genie who can fly but is afraid of heights. And the vampire faints at the sight of blood. Oh my goodness, blood. That's it. I think I'm done with this. Yeah, man, whatever. The key is that they look ridiculous to the entire school due to their bizarre conditions, causing all the students to mock them. When Fayed arrives home, he blames his father for what happened, visibly upset. His father responds, "Son, it's your problem. You're a vampire scared of blood. What do you expect me to do, bring you rice pudding? How can I help?" At the same time, Wolf's father is really angry because he's the leader of the pack. Since he's the investor and the head of the pack and all that, the man's reputation is ruined due to his son, Wolf, who was supposed to be the next pack leader after his father, like Hassam Delvaro. Now it's a mess, and Wolf is upset with himself, while no one knows how to help. Meanwhile, Fayed is just sitting with his friends. Fawzia is deeply saddened as she watches videos of herself being bullied, which have spread among all the students and her friends. Frau, the mayor's assistant, sneaks into Vlad's house and steals the necklace while he sleeps, going unnoticed. When she returns to give back the necklace, the mayor discovers it has vanished and is once again with Vlad. They then realize the necklace is magically linked to Vlad. They can't just steal it from him, he has to give it willingly. No matter how hard they try, even his friends won't be able to take it from him again otherwise. The students constantly tease Vlad in his house. bullying him and his group by pretending to bleed to humiliate them in front of the entire school. Hani witnesses this and feels sympathetic towards Vlad. Vlad takes his bag and flees the city through the forest, encountering Vibe on the way. The coincidence revealed her deeper confusion. My presence here is due to lost people. At that point, he encounters Wolf, who was feigning an adventure. I mean, I was just wandering around, guys. In reality, they wanted to escape from the beginning. When Vlad reveals his escape plan, they confess their desire to escape as well, and they agree to do it together. The three walk together, followed by someone from a distance. At the bridge, Saeed, the guard, tells them they can't cross because they are superheroes. He warns them they will save the city from the coming absolute evil. So the three of them don't care about what the man is saying to them, and they don't trust him at all because they know that people at school make fun of them. Suddenly, the guard transforms into a terrifying giant, furious at their father. He demands they remain in the city, declaring, "You will stay here until you are angry at your dead father." At that moment, Hannibal, who is watching them, steps in. He saves them from the bridge guard with a spell, and they escape together, with Hannibal staying by their side. He advises them to stay, as running away doesn't solve problems for kids. It's better to face issues head-on. He also mentions that the only way out of the city is via this bridge. The guard won't let you leave. He says he has a book with the city's laws and customs, and he'll check it to find out why the incident is stopping you from departing. And as soon as Abu al-Sahab sees the book, he refuses to tell them and pretends like there's nothing important written in it, saying, "Don't worry, there's nothing written here." Honestly, I don't even understand why this Abu al-Sahab guy is doing this in the first place. No, I mean, that's what he's telling them, not me. Then after that, Abu al-Sahab and the others ask the man to make them some food, so he gets busy, and then the three of them start. They read in the book and find out that this prophecy is real, and that there is a book with everything about this prophecy in detail. And this book is in the Forbidden Library, which, as its name suggests, is forbidden. The key point is that they choose to take the book to become superheroes and finally make their families proud. They leave Hannibal's house for the school library. On the way, Saida uses her powers to revive a wilted flower, making it better than before. When asked about her healing ability, she explains it's part of her powers. Vlad then shares information about himself. He was born among humans, unaware of his vampire identity. He also shares about his mother, who died during his childhood, and that he doesn't have anything to remember her by, except for this necklace. And as soon as she sees this necklace, she realizes it's a magical necklace. So she tells him that she has some information about the magical necklace, something like that, just a little bit after that. Then, the friends all arrive at the library and they sneak in without anyone seeing them, and they enter through a secret tunnel together. It leads them to where the book is. At the location, they find Zeeb Shah's on guard, but Golfa and friends calm the wolf with kindness, keeping him occupied while the others retrieve the book. Frau visits Brano's house, singing to persuade his son to give them the necklace. Brano becomes enchanted by her singing and agrees to convince his son when he gets the chance, having just received a phone call. Frau becomes upset and leaves after learning that his son ran away and his whereabouts are unknown. And as she's leaving, Vlad and Fi arrive at the library, but they find that the book is on the highest shelf in the whole place, so there's no solution except for who. Fi's flying house retrieves the book for them. As a flying creature herself, she simply flies up, grabs the book, and returns. But she's afraid of heights, so Vlad tells her to close her eyes and force herself to fly and get them the book. While her eyes are closed, he gives her directions, telling her to focus because they're all depending on her now. So she closes her eyes, flies up, and Vlad keeps telling her where to go, right, left, and so on, until she finally grabs the book from above. Meanwhile, Golf can't distract the wolf any longer, and at that moment, the wolf starts to transform to attack them. The three of them manage to escape the library with the book before the wolf catches them, feeling relieved and thankful. Simultaneously, the friends visit Raul Louis, and she begins expressing to him how she lost track of time in that instant. Of course, Louis gets angry at her and tells her that she has to find him no matter what. So Saida uses a magic spell, and she actually finds his location. She sees the two people with him and the book they have. As soon as Louis sees that they have the book, he gets really mad and says he spent years keeping that book away from people. How did it end up with those kids? At the same time, Vlad and his friends start reading the book. They discover an evil being named Lucifer, or the devil, who has a malicious plan. The plan involves traveling back in time to when vampires, werewolves, and other creatures were evil. Once there, he will enslave them to create his own army, and then he'll destroy the whole world. And if the last page was torn out. So they didn't understand what they should do with the companions, and they decided to go to their families and tell them what they didn't know. And as soon as Alois finds out that the boys are going to tell their families, he orders Farawa to act. So Farawa casts a spell that reverses everything the companions say to their families. When Farawa returns and says everything is fine with the companions, he also agrees to give the chain to the mayor. It's very normal, just so Vlad can finally get out of what's happening to him. I mean, did he even say that? Actually, he said the exact opposite of all this, but it was forced on him. He reveals his friend's punishment, acting tough until his father takes the chain. After leaving, he calls his friends, discovering none could explain the situation to their families. He went to his father, expressing that things were not okay and mentioned Lucifer or darkness. But the meaning of the words was twisted and reversed. Not just the letters. He said life is like a movie, just look at the companions. In 3010, the chain, no, I can't give you the chain, that's not what he said. But what came out with the companions is that the chain is a no. She can handle it, I don't want to drive it. Boss, she can handle it, and I want to drive it. The same thing happened to all of them. But the crucial point is about the friends, despite the chain issue and their twisted words. They then decide to fix the situation themselves without relying on their families. Vlad decides to study the book further for any useful information. Each person takes on a task, agreeing to reconvene the following morning to share their findings. Then the three best friends gather together and connect all the events, and after a while, they manage to figure out that Lucifer is going to turn back time, and he's going to use the crystal in Vlad's necklace to carry out his plan. Because as we said before, the crystal inside that necklace is magical and holds great power. That's nonsense, and this explains to us why the best friends are inside the city. The first time the crystal in the necklace was used to transform the officer's badge and the old bicycle. And we understand that the magical power in the crystal turns things back in time, and that's why Lucifer wants to use it. But Abu al-Sahab tells them that the necklace glowed red, and it did that when he got close to the town hall tower, and that's why Abu al-Sahab feels there's something different about this tower. They then decide to go there with the necklace and their friends. As they approach the tower, they notice the girls walking alongside them carrying modern phones, while their own phones suddenly transform into outdated devices. At that moment, their suspicions about the tower are confirmed, and they realize there's a strange connection between the necklace and the tower. They decide to enter and explore this strange place. The friends distract the security guard before he uses his vampire powers and vanishes, and the friend's father comes from a certain direction to record him. Anyway, as soon as the friend's father enters Vlad's tower, he notices that his necklace is being pulled toward a certain spot, a specific place. So the friend's father keeps following Vlad to the place where the necklace is being pulled, and he ends up on the roof of the tower. Upon reaching the top, he's surprised to find a large red crystal, identical to the one in his necklace. He realizes the necklace crystal is just a small part of this bigger one. As Vlad approaches the crystal, with his friends and his necklace, his bag turns into an old bag. And at the same time, with his friends, there's Roa sitting at the computer, but she's surprised when he turns into a desk. So at that moment, she asks her friends what's happening, and actually, at that moment, with her friends. So she sits on Louis, and she's very excited. At that moment, Vlad comprehends the entire situation and realizes the big puzzle is missing a tiny piece to be complete. And who has that piece in Vlad's chain? If completed, they'll travel back in time, ensuring Lucifer's plan succeeds. Vlad escapes through the door, just as Farawi and Louis reach the rooftop. Louis becomes furious at Farawi, because Vlad has already gotten away, and he tells her that he's going to handle this on his own, and she should leave it to him. Vlad tells his friends about his time travel experience. They notice his bag that has also traveled through time. When they open it, they find the book that was inside also traveled back in time, and the torn page is there again, and it has something written on it. The day when the big clock bell strikes 12 is the day of the solar eclipse. And this is supposed to happen at the end of the world, and with the companions, this is supposed to be the day, which is today, the day they are in now. And Louis is with the companions throwing a party for the solar eclipse. And that's why the boy suspects this Uncle Louis that he is actually Lucifer. He compares his picture to Lucifer's picture, and they confirm that he is the devil who plans to do all this. At that moment, Vlad decides to leave the city so that Louis can't take the crystal from him, and therefore Louis won't be able to carry out his plan. After much consideration, this is the only viable solution. So when they agree to do that, Vlad says goodbye to them and leaves the city, but he finds the guard standing in his way and doesn't want to let him out. But when the guard looks at the documents in his hands, he realizes who he is. Vlad leaves the city after the guard warns him that if he leaves, he can never return. Vlad hesitates, but ultimately agrees to the terms. But before he leaves, he's surprised when Louis appears in a truly demonic form and kidnaps Faye. Louis tells him he has only 1 hour, just 1 hour. Bring me the crystal you have on that chain, or I'll finish her off for real. Louis returns to the town hall tower as everyone gathers for the party. On the roof, Vlad sees Louis playing with Faye. He gives Louis the crystal and releases Faye at the last moment. At the same time, Farah is with her friends by the lake, trying to get closer to Barna and let him know she loves him so he can help her in their relationship. But he snaps out of it with his friends for a moment. He senses something odd at the town hall tower. Looking through the telescope, he spots his son there. Realizing the situation, he attacks and defeats Farah like a typical vampire. Meanwhile, at the same time, all the townspeople gather to watch the eclipse. As the clock nears midnight, Louis is close to finishing the big crystal. However, at the final moment, Vlad's crystal vanishes from the large crystal and reappears with Hannibal and his friends. This is because Vlad had given the crystal to Hannibal before arriving, causing the spell to work with Hannibal and transfer the crystal to him. At that moment, Louis gets really angry and tells them that the plan he's been preparing for 1,000 years has been ruined. Hey boy, the one who insists on your faith, you're a really stubborn boy. Vlad transforms into a powerful werewolf during a fight, but passes out. His friends, confused, fight him. The werewolf's instincts take over, and Vlad becomes weak and helpless. Louis gets up to finish him off. At that moment, Fia heals Vlad with her power, making him stronger than before. Vlad quickly saves Wolf from death and defeats Louis. Vlad celebrates with his friends, including our protagonist, after saving the world. As usual, Hannah's family arrives late to the show. The friend's father returns and reconciles with Vlad, ending the story. The three friends saved the world, fulfilling the city's prophecy. They became superheroes who now protect the city and stand up to any great evil that threatens it. And in the end, we see Vlad sitting in his room at night, and the spirit of his mother appears to him. His mother's spirit, literally, I don't know. His mom's spirit? His mom's spirit? What is his mom's spirit? She's helping the boy through a crystal, but surprisingly, his mom's spirit is mean. She cautions him that the devil will return, implying Vlad and his team will face the devil again, possibly in a sequel, but it's uncertain. And if you've made it to this point, my friend, I just want to say that the story's over. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.